Hello and welcome to the Botcast Football Show, the Bristol United podcast. My name is James, and once again this week I am pleased to say I'm joined by first team manager John Gilbertson. John, how are you, mate?
I'm not too bad, thank you, James.
Good. And it's stopped raining, so that's a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah, sun's shining. Very cold day, but the sun's shining. That's much improvement.
Yeah, but you're right, it is cold out there. Now, as always, let's do our mental health and wellbeing check on a scale of 1 to 10. How are you?
I think I'm a solid 7.5. Let's go 7.5 this week.
7.5, yeah. It's not too bad, is it? Not too bad.
No, not too bad.
It's January. The month seems to be dragging a little bit already, doesn't it? But
yeah.
We'll get there, mate.
How about you, James? What are you? What score are you this week?
You know what? I'm actually feeling really good this week. Thanks for asking. I'm probably about a 9.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm off to football tonight. I'm off to watch Bitton play tonight. Got football tomorrow night. City got a good result the weekend. Yeah. Said it stopped raining, so that's always a positive. And I'm already looking forward to the weekend, which is sad, really, isn't it? But that's life.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
Now, we were just chatting before we started recording, John, and we were saying that the weekend just gone, which was the weekend of the 6th and 7th of January. Unfortunately, the game was called off as we were expecting, wasn't it?
Yeah. Like a lot of games at the weekend. It was going to be a washout, wasn't it? We've had so much rain, and no surprise we got a call Thursday night to say, the game was called off. So yeah, no great surprise there.
No, and I don't mean this with any disrespect at all, but the council pitches, which some of the games are played on, aren't the best for drainage and stuff, are they? So I wasn't surprised. It's just a shame because obviously now it's another fixture that needs to be rearranged and fitted in the calendar somewhere now, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's the problem. All of a sudden, I think we've got 3 or 4 fixtures now which needs to be rearranged. Still potentially with January and February to come. If we get a hard frost or more rain, you think there could be another game or two, and then all of a sudden is a sort of fixture pile up, and pressure's on from the league to rearrange them, and it's where we're going to put them because I've already looked. Me and Ash looked, and we've got a couple of 3 weeks, but the sides we need to play, they aren't free the same week, so it's hard. So I think you're going to see quite a few night matches being played towards the end of the season, definitely.
Yeah, and I suppose the league. I don't know the league all that well, but I don't suppose they're open to extending the season beyond the finishing date, are they?
No, I think they extended it to the 4th or 5th of May this year,
right?
Which is quite late for this kind of level of football.
Yeah.
It's normally wrapped up in April.
Yeah.
So they've extended it a little bit, but I can understand also they can't just keep going on.
No.
So, a few midweek, which, to be honest with you, who doesn't love a Tuesday or a Wednesday sort of evening match when it's in spring and lighter nights? And
can't beat it, mate, can you?
Yeah, I think we're disappointed to obviously have 3 Saturdays now, like every team will be, but come the time, I think we'll all be grateful they was cancelled when we're looking forward to an evening match to finish the day on. So
I agree. Happy days, mate. Happy days. And this weekend, which is what's the date on Saturday, mate? It's the 13th on Saturday. You were due to play AFC Mangotsfield, but you were just telling me before we started recording that's been cancelled.
Yeah, and not because of the weather or anything. It's obviously we're in a few cups. Teams are in a different cups, and we're actually obviously free the weekend for the league game. But Mangotsfield's as a fixture in another cup. So as we know, that takes priority over the league. So yeah, we find ourselves with another sort of free weekend really, which is not ideal starting the new calendar year off having 2 games cancelled. But what we have planned this week, and I've got the pitch and got a 4G pitch for a 4 o'clock kickoff. So I did toy with the idea of do we get a friendly, because I don't think that would have been hard to do, because I think games will still be called off this weekend if there's been a lot of rain.
Yeah.
But what I've decided is to do like an intra-squad friendly. We got a big squad with just 24, 25 players, with some new players who joined us recently, what we're looking at in training. So I'm going to do a friendly game, which won't be a friendly at all. But I'll field two sides from our club. So it'll give me a chance to give minutes to people who hasn't been starting games and getting 90 minutes, and also to look at a few new players who's training with us, to see what they're about. You get a gauge in training, but there's nothing like seeing people in sort of real life playing 90 minutes. And so I decided to go down that route. So although we got no game this Saturday, we still got a game. It's going to be a full game. It'll be a competitive, serious game.
Yeah.
Drill on the 4G at 4 o'clock kickoff. So still keeps the players fresh and fit, and serves me a purpose of looking at other things.
Yeah, fair enough, mate. Fair enough. And I know you said then it's a friendly that won't be a friendly, and it'd be nice and competitive. But I suppose there's got to be an element of thinking about the week after for the cup game as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And for some players, like I said, some new players, it's a chance to shine and really impress that they have like a future at our club. For other players, it'll be sort of chance to, I really should be making the subs bench or pushing, and for some it'll be actually I shouldn't be on the subs bench, I should be in the starting 11. And I suppose for the rest of them, then it'll be proving why they're in the starting 11. So I love these kind of fixtures, and with the lads with such a good attitude, it'll be played in the right spirit. But I know I've played training with them. I know how competitive they are. They'll be going out there to prove their point for themselves, and also to win the game. It'll be mixed sides, so it's not going to be like a first versus the reserve sort of thing. It'll be a mixed balanced side, but yeah, it's a good opportunity and a chance to shine and prove a few points for a few players, I think. So it's certainly going to be a competitive one.
Yeah, and like you said, it's better than not having nothing to do on Saturday as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
I suppose that the downside is, like you said, obviously that means you won't have a league game until the 27th, which is quite a long way into the year from a football point of view, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, what I'm hoping, that the fixtures is fell with the cancellations and weather, and what I'm hoping and looking for now is, fingers crossed, we pick up our league campaign again towards the end of the month, and hopefully a few results goes our way where we don't sort of drop too far behind a team or something like that. We might find we lose a couple of points, but we find ourselves sitting in a position with a few games in hand and to be able to really put pressure on. But it's just trying to look at a positive and make a positive out of it. But the run we're on, sort of 7 unbeaten, 6 out of 7 wins, it's not ideal pre-Christmas then to suddenly miss more or less a month without a league game. But
no.
Like I said, it's beyond our control, really.
Yeah, and I suppose as well that you might get another game cancelled. Hopefully, you might get another game cancelled. And the reason I say that is because if you progress in the cup, that's going to put another game back, isn't it? So, and you want to stay in the cup, don't you?
Yeah, we want to go as far as we can. And, I said the only sort of saving grace we got, if we can go all the way in the cup and play as many games as we can, is certainly going to put pressure on our league campaign.
Yeah.
But the only upside we got, which I know we definitely got, is, like I said, we're a young, extremely fit side. We'll be able to handle 2 games a week for the last 2 or 3 months of the league campaign, and that won't affect us. Like it could if we had like a load of sort of 30, 35-year-old players.
Yeah.
Asking them to play 2 games a week back to back for 10 weeks could be exhausting and picking up injuries. So, touch wood, with their age, I think we'll be fine with that. But yeah, let's So for the league, it'll be the sensible thing to go out the cup. But what manager and what club wants to go out any cup? You wouldn't, would you? So
no, of course not. No.
We wanna progress.
Yeah, I mean it's like whether you're non-league, grassroots, or professional. it's like the City teams in the FA Cup. Neither of them wanted to lose the weekend, did they? You know, neither of the Bristol teams, and they both got decent replays at home, and a potentially very nice draw for Rovers as well if they get through.
Yeah, yes, it's not too bad a draw, is it? I should imagine it might be a tough game for the Rovers going away to Liverpool. But yeah, I mean, what is a dream, isn't it, for any lower league club to go away and pull one of the absolute big guns, and being away at Liverpool, there's a chance to make a hell of a lot of money for the club and for the fans to be able to go and see us play a top side. So perfect draw, but we have the hurdle of getting over if we got to beat Norwich yet. So
that's it. Yeah.
It'll be typical Rovers. They'll probably go out against Norwich. I expect to miss out on the glamorous tie.
But if they do it, then in all fairness to them, you can't begrudge them it, you know, because it'd be on telly. I would imagine it'd be on telly if they get Liverpool.
You'd think so, wouldn't you? Yeah,
you would, yeah, because I mean there is potential. It's very unlikely, but there is potential for a massive upset there.
Yeah, and I think that's what the sort of TV companies they look for, don't they? Like I said, if we play them 100 times, Rovers might win. Be fortunate enough to win 1, 2, 3, 4 games. You know it's going to be stacked against you, but
yeah, of course.
It's the cup. How many times have a Premiership side been knocked out by a lower league side? That happens more or less every year. So that's the beauty of the FA Cup, and well, why not? We know it's extremely unlikely, but who knows?
Dream, always dream, John, can't you? Always dream.
Definitely, yeah.
And I suppose you're of the. I don't want this to sound horrible, but you're of the age where the FA Cup is still a special competition. I mean, I think is one of the best competitions in the world.
It is, yeah, and it's a shame because it's losing its appeal with the new generations up to people sort of our age. The FA Cup was a fantastic competition, and I'm of that age when I can remember us playing Liverpool the last time.
Yeah.
We drawed 1-1 at Twerton Park with Carl Saunders, Dean Saunders, and then we got the replay away at Anfield, and Carl Saunders scored to put the Rovers 1-0 up, and it looked like it was going to be a memorable night, but then Dean Saunders, I think, equalised,
right,
and Steve McManaman scored the winner, and we lost 2-1, but I think that was round about 1990, so you're absolutely right. For people in my generations above, the cup, the FA Cup was the competition. It's all the Champions League now, isn't it, in focus? But that was our competition. It was the FA Cup, the big one for us years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I can remember even when I was young, FA Cup. You had FA Cup final down on television, and you saw the players having their breakfast at the hotel in the morning, and then getting the coach, and a full day was made of it. And I don't want to sound like an old man, but you don't get that anymore, do you? You know.
Oh, and like with the sides, they used to record a song, didn't they?
That's it, yeah.
Had a song for the cup final, and you had your charity match, which was always televised before the event with sort of actors and comedians, and it was a real family event, wasn't it? You'd all be there watching the FA Cup final, and I think it used to start about 10 in the morning. And I know we're sounding like grumpy old men now, but. Yeah,
it was good though, wasn't it? It was good.
Yeah, it was excellent, and you really looked forward to the FA Cup. And I've got to be honest with you now, James. If it was Aston Villa and say Chelsea in the cup final tonight, I'd watch it if I was at home. If somebody said, "Do you want to go out and play a game of five-a-side?" I'd probably go and play five-a-side, which years ago you just wouldn't have done. You wouldn't have missed the FA Cup final for anything. So
no.
it is a shame. It is a shame.
But then I suppose it's the way football's gone, isn't it? Which I think it's a loss to the game that the FA Cup isn't as important as it is now. But like you said, the money's in the Champions League and all that now. So from a business point of view, I get it. But for me, nothing beats the FA Cup. That's my personal opinion. But
I agree.
So just going back to Bristol United, obviously 4 o'clock. You said 4 o'clock kickoff on Saturday at Imperial on the 4G. If anybody wants to come along and watch, are you going to get involved this week, John? Because I know you can't resist it.
No, I won't. I definitely won't be involved. I did play five-a-side for 2 hours on Saturday because we arranged a quick game of five-a-side when our game was cancelled. So I get involved where I can, and I'm planning on getting involved in a bit of the training tonight. But Saturday, no. I mean, normally I would 100% because it's a chance to play football, even at my grand old age. But in all seriousness, Saturday, I mean, it's for me as a manager. This game is for me as a manager to look at a few different people in a different positions, a couple of the new sort of players training with us, and you don't, even though you could watch that in game, it's not like watching it on the side. So it's my personal thing of wanting to play has to go to one side, and I have to do my duty and do my job Saturday and be on the sideline and mark orders, coach and watch.
Yeah, fair enough. And tonight, like you said, at training tonight is going to be a cold one tonight.
Yeah, I should imagine a few snoods in woolly hats and gloves will be on display tonight. I've banned the players from playing in gloves and snoods and stuff like that in game days. I know it's like a modern trend for players to be rocking all this kind of stuff in game, and they looked a little bit at me going back a while, and I was like, no, that's you don't show no mercy, don't show your opponent take your gloves off, take your sort of bloody scarves off and get out there. But at training, I turned a blind eye to them at training, so it's going to be a freezing one tonight, no doubt. It's cold enough now, let alone what it's going to be like in a few hours' time. But I'll go soft tonight and let them put their little gloves on when they're playing football. But they won't be having that luxury Saturday.
They couldn't all run around with a hot water bottle tonight, can they?
Yeah, and it's very easy, mine. I'm telling them, be a man. Don't show your opponent no weakness. Get your gloves off, get your scarf off, and then I'm stood on the sideline with a thick coat, scarf, gloves, woolly hat. But now the thing is, just from that generation, though, you wouldn't be playing football in gloves.
No, I know what you mean, mate. I know what you mean.
I passed it on to them, so
yeah. Well, you've got to look after them, John, because if they get ill, they won't be able to play at all, then, will they? So.
Well, that's the big plan, really. I'm hoping the striker picks up a call tonight, and then I'll have to play Saturday. Probably bang about 7 or 8 goals in, and they'll all be carrying me off, saying, "You are still the best player, John. Even though you're 30 stone and you're 75 years of age, you're still the man."
Well, it sounds like you've got a busy week ahead, so which is obviously a good thing. And then, like I said, I suppose the real attention turns to the cup. We'll talk about this more next week, but the cup game is at home, isn't it, on the 20th?
It is, yeah. We're still finalising because we're having a couple of issues with kick-off times and getting the pitch sorted. So it is at home with a 2 o'clock kick-off. That's the plan.
Yeah.
We're just finalising a few things. So if things don't come to fruition, we may have to kick off at an earlier time.
Right.
If we can't get that sorted, it could be that we might even have to switch the game to their place and be away. So
who is it you got?
It's Axbridge.
Right.
So obviously we don't want to lose our home advantage. Just the first time obviously we share a pitch and the league games they're scheduled in, and we can't start bossing other clubs around. So it's a bit of a one with this one, but we got potential few things to sort, but I'm hoping it all gets sorted and we get the game to play the game at home. But it could be that worst case scenario, we might have to switch to their ground, but that's sort of last resort. But hopefully we'll have that sorted in the next day or so.
Yeah. So on next week's podcast, we should know. The time and date and everything. Happy days, mate. Happy days. Well, I think that's pretty much everything covered for this week, John. Thanks for joining me again. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And to all the listeners, thank you for listening and downloading the podcast. As I always say, it's available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and Podbean. Check out the club website, like we said last week. If you haven't done so already, please check that out. It's a good website. Lots of information on there in a club shop. We'll be back next week where we look ahead in more detail to the cup game on the 20th. And wherever you're off to this week, whatever you're up to, whatever game you're off to, enjoy it and look after yourselves. And I suppose probably I should say stay warm this week, because I think it's going to be a cold week. But John, have a good week, mate, and thanks again for joining me.
Thanks, James.
Take care, everybody. Cheers.